Hello everyone and welcome back to Kayla's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing a literary tea review from Simpson Vail. So as you may know, Simpson Vail has a collection of 17 literary author-themed teas, and so I am going to start a review series where I go through and talk about not only the tea, but also about the author and some of their famous works. If you don't know, I am an English major, so I love everything to do with literature and reading and writing and all that kind of fun stuff. So I thought that this would be a really fun series to go through and do reviews of all of these. So today we are starting off with the Beatrix Potter blend. So Beatrix Potter was born in 1866 and she died in 1943. She was, of course, very famous for her series about Peter Rabbit. She actually wrote a collection of 23 books. There might be more, but what I have here is a collection of 23 books that were not necessarily all about Peter Rabbit, but they were all in the very much the same vein of just about little talking animals. So there are 23 of these books, I believe. They are just super short. They're incredibly easy and fast reads. And they just have these wonderful watercolor illustrations that she actually did herself. So not only was Beatrix Potter an author, but she was also a very prolific illustrator as well. So not only did she like writing, but she also loved to draw and paint and illustrate as well. Along with being an author-illustrator, she was also a natural scientist and a conservationalist. She loved botany and everything to do with plants. She loved a lot of things to do with animals, and that really inspired her writing. If you've read any of her works, you can really just tell how much she loves animals and plants and all these fun things because it really inspired her writing. She just really loved the natural world. She actually collected fossils, which I think is just a really fun sort of fact about her. She was raised by a fairly wealthy family. She lived a very good childhood. She had a very, very good education, particularly for a woman at that time. And she was going to marry a man, but unfortunately he actually died during their engagement. They had been planning on buying a farm in the English countryside together that would be their summer home or vacation home. But after her fiance died, Beatrix Potter decided to buy that for her permanent home, that farm. So she lived out the rest of her life at that farm. She learned how to herd sheep, and she got a lot of help from people in the area to help her learn and understand how to upkeep a farm. But that is enough about the author. Let's take a look at her tea. So on their website, Simpson Vail talks a lot about how they were inspired by Beatrix Potter's love of nature. So this is an herbal blend. The ingredients in here are green rooibos, rose hips, natural flavor, chamomile, spearmint, and lemongrass. And this is also a completely organic blend. It smells kind of sweet and fruity. It's very light though. I'm definitely getting a citrus note from that lemongrass, but also some floralness from the chamomile in there as well. And I just think that the illustration is so beautiful here. Simpson Vail always has such amazing imagery, but on this particular cover, it's just so cute. There is a little bunny who's eating a carrot, and behind the rabbit there is a book, and there's flowers, little daisies, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So let's take a look at the tea. As you can see, this brews up a very nice orange color. It's actually very like a bright orange. It smells very citrusy. Well, maybe not very citrusy. It still smells fairly light, but I think it smells very comparable to the tea, to the loose leaf tea. Normally, at least in my opinion and my experience, when there's the leaves smell very strong, and then the tea usually just smells like a dulled down version of the leaves, but this actually smells quite comparable to the leaves. Yeah. Oh, and I should say, I steeped this at 208 degrees for about 7-ish minutes. But now that I've tasted it, I think that this could go longer. I think that this might be one that you want to like cover it and just let it steep for like 15 minutes. It's very like calming and relaxing. You can taste the chamomile in there. I'm not a fan of just plain chamomile flavor, and I think that the other flavors in here are working along with the chamomile very well. So I think that even if you're not necessarily a big fan of chamomile, I wouldn't necessarily rule this blend out because there's not a lot of chamomile in here and the other flavors are helping it out. I think that the first thing that I'm getting is a little bit of the nuttiness from the rooibos, but it's also slightly floral in the beginning as well. You're getting that chamomile in there. You're getting some sweetness from the rose hips. It's not sweet, but you're getting a little bit of a sweet note. And then that's kind of followed up by the citrus note from the lemongrass. And then that spearmint is really in the last note that you taste and kind of in the aftertaste. This is wonderful. This would be a just wonderful, like nighty-night relaxing last cup of tea of the day blend. That's really good. I really like that. I definitely think that next time I would probably, like I said in the beginning, kind of like cover it and let this steep for 15 minutes. I think that it could really take that because it is a rooibos, so it's not going to go bitter or anything like that, but it does have, I think it would just help to pull a little bit more flavor out. It's not that it's weak right now, it is just light. So that's really good. So that is my look at the Beatrix Potter blend from Simpson Vail. Have you tried this tea before? And have you read any of Beatrix Potter's works? If you have, let me know what your thoughts of the tea and her books are in the comments down below. I think that for this series, I'm going to strive to do at least one of these videos a month. So stay tuned to next month to see what other author I get to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe down below. But that is all for now, so as always, happy sipping.